thanks for gardening with me. I'm Melissa, and today I'm going to be taking you outside. I am so excited to finally be able to get outside, get my hands in the dirt. I'm in a zone 6 garden, and today it'll be about 55 degrees, but it's been pretty sunny the last couple days. So what I plan to do today is to go around my entire yard, just take note of how things fared through the winter, what maybe needs to be replaced. Also, during the fall last year, I wasn't really able to get out and do as much cleanup as I would like to. So there's leaves and debris that need to be cleaned up. There's also annuals that have died or leaves that have died back that need to be pruned away and cleaned. So I'm going to be getting all that done today, and I'll show you what that looks like. And if you have any questions or comments, please let me know and I will get right back with you. So here we go. Okay, so here we go, right outside the front door. Just start it right off the bat. This is probably one of the worst areas that there is in the whole yard, and it's right outside my front door. As you can see, there is a lot of cleanup to be done. And I still have my Christmas lights up. So those will be coming down today as well. We do still have a little bit of snow here. These are my hellebores, and they're always the first things. Oh my goodness, look at that. It's a bud hidden underneath the snow. These are always the first things to bloom, and their flowers are so gorgeous. I highly recommend them, and they spread. So highly recommend those if you have them in your area. There's a lot of dead that needs to be cleaned up. I should be embarrassed, but I tell you what, last year was a tough year with all my surgeries, and I'm ending with a total knee replacement in the fall, so I just did not get to get out here and get anything cleaned up. These are Dusty Millers, and I don't know if they're dead. They're supposed to be annuals, but I'm going to try to just cut them back and see what happens. But lots of leaves in there that need to be taken care of. This is more of that hellebore. So, and I just planted this last year, but look, those are flowers that are getting ready to bloom. How exciting is that? To have flowers blooming when we still have snow. But all of that needs cleaned up, so I'll be getting all of that taken care of today. This is going to be such a great year. I'm so excited because last year I had so many injuries, and trying to get the yard work done, it was really difficult. So this year I'm just so excited. There'll be nothing to hold me back. This area I put in a whole new hosta bed last year. So this should be really beautiful in the spring. So pretty excited for that. Next year I'm going to plant a bunch of bulbs here and see how that turns out. We do have a lot of squirrels, so I don't know if they'll be digging up the bulbs or not. Hopefully not. But I've never really done a whole lot of bulbs here yet, so we'll see what happens. And this is just a menagerie of leaves from these huge trees that fall down. And it's not horrible to have leaves all over your flower beds during the winter because it does insulate them. As you can see here, I have an iris that is poking its little head up. Quite a few of them actually. So that's exciting. They were just planted last year, so it'll be nice to see them come up. But yeah, I'll unearth everything there. There is little signs of life here and there. So I'll have to be careful when I'm poking through there not to pull the roots up of anything, which is usually the biggest worry for that. And then I'll take you around. Well, over here I did plant a bunch of daylilies, and just different things last year. This really isn't considered my yard, but I figure since I'm the one that has to look at it, I try to just keep it planted up. Boy, I don't know what happened here. There's a bunch of pine leaves down. I wonder what happened there. Maybe from the ice or squirrels? I don't know, but that's why I think it's always just a really great idea to get out into your yard in early spring just as soon as you can and just kind of take note of what everything looks like, things that you need to take care of. This is also the great thaw, so we have dog poo that needs cleaned up, and those need to go in the trash. I got those from somebody else's trash, and I thought that I would do something with them, but I just know that I won't. So I'll put it out by our trash and just see if somebody come pick them up. Maybe they'll be more motivated than I was. But this is all just dead leaves and dead limbs that need to be cleaned up. And then, gosh, I got grass coming up in here again. This is the never-ending struggle to keep grass out of this little bed right here. And then this is the vegetable garden. All my raised beds. I am going to put another bed in this summer because I just needed more room. This is all the asparagus ferns, so they need to be cut back and get all those out of there. Again, more cleanup. This is where we put all of our leaves. We grind them up and put them in the flower beds, and then they break down. Usually I would have had them spread out a little better, but whatever. So they will just be, I'll shovel them in with the rest of the soil, and it'll just add so many nutrients to the soil. This is my strawberry bed, which is crazy to see, but some of them just stay green all through the whole crazy winter that we have. And then look at this. This is squirrels digging and burying nuts in my vegetable garden, which is not a good thing. Not such a big deal right now, but it sure will be once I have this full of potatoes and things like that. I definitely don't want the squirrels digging around in there. And then look at this. This is broccoli that I planted in the fall. I don't think it's going to be any good. My husband thought it would be, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll just try cutting it back and see what happens. And then over here we have some baby kale that's trying to make it through the winter, and that'll be fine. It'll just grow back, and they'll taste really good. This is sage back there in that corner, and that is an evergreen, as well as some oregano back in there. I think that is a dianthus that my husband took out of the pot and just dumped in there, and it looks like it lasted through the winter, which is amazing. So there you have it. There's the vegetable garden. Lots and lots of work to do there, but Tony and I did go through there in the fall and get it pretty prepped. But look at this. Squirrels bearing peanuts. I don't even know where they get the peanuts from. We haven't had any peanuts. Oh goodness. So this, as you can see, has a lot of dead leaves and things. Something's trying to come back alive in here. Oh, it's a weed. This is lots of just beautiful, beautiful flowers. And oh, it just looks so beautiful in the summer. Hardy geraniums that are trying to poke back up through. But don't feel bad if your yard looks like crap right now, because that's just what happens after we have such a hard winter. And this winter really wasn't that hard, but you know, anytime you get snow and things like that, your yard just isn't going to be amazing in the spring. That is yarrow that is still green. This is amazing to me when I see things that stay green through the winter in our climate. It's just crazy. This is a beautiful buddleia butterfly bush, and what I'll do is just cut that all the way down to the very bottom, which is scary to do because you're like, oh my gosh, am I going to kill the tree? No, just cut it all the way down to the very bottom. It'll come back super thick. It didn't cut back to the very bottom last year. I wasn't able to get out here the way that I wanted to. Anyway, so it was kind of spindly. You see how it's kind of spindly looking? So this year I'll cut it all the way down to the ground and it'll come in nice and thick and hardy. And all of this is a new bed that we just put in last year, as well as all new grass seed, which this is the greenest part in the yard, so that's nice. So I'll be interested to come out here and see what made it. You can see I left a lot of the tags on, which I don't usually do that, but I wanted to see, they all have warranties, so I wanted to see if they made it through the winter. And once I find out that they do, then I'll remove those tags. This is another one of those hellebores. Look at this. I'm getting ready to have tons of flowers. So I'll get in there and clean that up. That is exciting to me. So, and as you can see in here, since this was a new bed last year, I'm going to be working on keeping the weeds out of this bed. That's my main goal. That was my main goal last year. That'll be one of my main goals this year, is just to keep all these little weeds from coming back up. And if you get on them early and stay on top of them, you'll be so glad you did, because if not, they will just come in and take over. This is the only evergreen that I planted in this whole area last year. And I can't remember the exact name of it. Scarlet O'Hara. It is Japanese Pyrus. Not sure how to pronounce that. Again, I left the tag on that just because I wanted to make sure that it fared through the winter, and it looks like it's doing really, really good. I have a couple lamb's ears that are trying to come back up. Everything in here should just really take off and do well this year. Really excited to see what happens here. All of our ornamental grasses that need to be cut back. The perennial lavender that needs to be cut back. This is an iris that is yellow, and it bloomed for me probably 5 times last year, which is the first year that it did that. Every other year I've always had one bloom and then it's done. So that's exciting, and I will definitely divide that and put it in other places throughout my yard. I'll probably let it go this year and not do any dividing, and then next year I'll go in and divide it up. Iris love to be divided. So a few things here that need to be cleaned up. This is our banana tree that I'll put a link down below to the video last year where we insulated it, covered it up, and this will be its first year for that. I'm excited to see if it comes back. It should. I mean, we did a YouTube video. We looked at YouTube videos finding out exactly how to do it. We looked at several, and this seemed to be the best option. So pretty excited to see how that turns out. And then back here is usually kind of wet. So we will see how far I get back. Oh my goodness, look at the water going in there. Goodness gracious. That tree doesn't seem to mind it too much though. It had a lot of good growth this year. This one also has a big puddle of water in it. Geez, hopefully they don't mind. And back here, we have our trees, our chairs that are just everywhere. In the summer, this is completely dense and you can't see through. It just looks like it goes on forever. But right now you can see the houses behind us, which I'm not thrilled about. So we are hoping this year, well, also last year they took out a bunch of trees because they buried the power lines. So hopefully this year we will get to plant a whole row of pine trees back there, so it'll just give us that dense coverage all year long. And this is a flower bed that I worked on quite a bit last year. Look at that's ice down in there. So definitely still cold out. My goodness. Lots to do, my friends, lots to do. But it's exciting. It'll be nice to get off the couch. Actually, I've been spending a lot of time in my craft room this year, working on paintings and just trying to learn some new stuff as we go through with this crazy year that we've had. So I've been having a lot of fun with that. And then back here is just all wild craziness. So haven't even began to get back there yet and do anything. Oh, there's a bunch of wood here that was just thrown back here that needs to be moved. And then back here we hide all of our junk, well, not junk, but stuff. And usually, see, there was a whole row of trees here, but now these poor people that live behind me have to look at all this junk. So we kept these concrete pavers and these, just thinking that we may use them again. I don't know if we're going to or not, so we might just put them on our buy sell trade for free and see if somebody wants to come and take those. That's all of our firewood that we have here. And then look at what happened last year. I have no idea. Well, we're not going to be able to do anything about that. We're going to have tree people come out and take care of that. But right all through here was a whole row of trees that just lined the whole property. And they took them all out. See, here's the stumps from them. This is actually back further than I thought. So there was a whole row of trees here that got taken down, and so therefore you can see all of this, which is not good. And then they just put all the trees right there. So good news, bad news. We'll have plenty of firewood for a while for the fire pit. Bad news is that is a lot of work, my friends. Lots and lots of work. That's a Tony job, not a Melissa job. So yeah, this is just the wild side back here. When we moved in, it was definitely a lot thicker than it is now. And we've been here, gosh, 9 years, I think. Gosh, yeah, I think 9 years. And just slowly working my way back, taking it one little bit at a time. This tree needs to come down. There's just so many trees in the yard that were just overgrown and let to go crazy. This whole area is just riddled with poison ivy. Just absolutely riddled with poison ivy when we moved in. And so that's the thing that we've been working on first, is getting all that at bay. And because you really can't get in here and do much when it's poison ivy everywhere. I mean, look at the size of that root. That's all poison ivy. I think that my husband's got it killed at this point, but it's still just completely wrapped around the trees. So that tree needs to come down. But you couldn't even get in here and cut the tree down until the poison ivy was dead. So there's that. This whole area here is going to get a facelift this year. Taking out, that's a wild honeysuckle. There's some wild roses in there. A couple of those trees will probably stay, but most of them will go, as they're just, I mean, they're nice, big, tall trees, but they've just been let go. Craziness. They had poison ivy going up them. So you can see that stalk there of poison ivy that my husband has killed off. So he's really been making a huge effort to try to save what trees he can save, because he hates to cut down trees. But some of them have just too far gone. But yeah, isn't that crazy? Lightning hit that and just busted it all up. So that'll be fun. So there you have it. All the chores documented that need to be taken care of before I can really even get into the flower beds and have any fun. There's lots of work to be done first, but I enjoy it. It's just nice to be able to get outside and get your hands in the dirt and do some hard work and be tired at the end of the day. And I'm just really looking forward to it. So I will kind of give you a sped up version of the work that I do in the yard today. And if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks. Okay, so here we go. As you can see, I decided to start right by the front door. I wanted to get this area clean, so every time I come and go, I at least have this nice area to look at. There were so many leaves in here, and I had to be very careful because I have a lot of things planted in here. I didn't want to damage any of the roots, so I had to be very careful where I stepped. I cut back a lot of my peonies, which they should be just so beautiful this year. Moved on to this area, and then I had these barberry bushes that, oh my goodness, they were just so hard to get the leaves out of without getting stabbed. I tried using my hand, I tried using the rake, I tried using the blower, and this is all I got finished for today. So I wanted to get on here and show you what I did get accomplished today. It was nowhere near what I thought I was going to get done. I thought that I was going to get every single thing out front finished today, but that did not happen. I did get up by the house finished, so I'll take that as a win and just move on. Hopefully it'll be nice again this week where I can get back out here and give it a go again. But I'll show you what I did get accomplished today. And if you have any questions, just leave me a comment and I will get back to you as soon as I can. So starting at this little flower bed, I do have some perennials that just stay green. They're not really considered evergreen, but they are hardy into our zone. There goes Lucy. But in here we have the periwinkle, and then I have a ton of ferns in this flower bed, and they have really just multiplied since I put them in here. So there's a lot of ferns in here, a lot of hosta in here, some euchera in here, and lily of the valley. So everything that's in here gets full shade because this gets like zero sun whatsoever. And I got most of the leaves out of there. Here you can still see some leaves here and there, but man, it was hard. But oh no, look what I did. I was trying to get the snow off of this, and I used the shovel, and I chopped off some of my buds, which makes me so very sad. But there are quite a few other ones in there, and they do rebloom for quite a while, so I think I just need to leave it alone, let the snow melt, let it do its thing naturally instead of trying to force the issue. Everything else, my globe spruce made it unscathed through the winter, which I'm in love with that thing, so I'm really happy about this. All of these other evergreens that I put in this year really just look great. And again, I think these are Dusty Miller, but I'm just gonna leave them there and see what happens. I don't know, worst thing that can happen is I'll have to pull them out in a couple weeks. So I'm just gonna leave them there and see what happens. I did cut them way back. And everything else is just doing really good, but I'll show you how far I got. That's it, I stopped right there. I have a bunch of, I think those are daffodil buds that are coming up. But these barberries that I did do a close-up of when I was cleaning them, I think they're called barberries because it's like barbed wire. I mean, and I had thick gloves on, and I was still getting getting snagged. So that one I did leave some of the leaves in. That little baby one, I see a leaf in there. That one I think I got most of them out. And then my holly bushes, I got most of the leaves out of there. These hydrangeas, I had every intention of pulling them this year and moving them someplace else. When they bloom, they're beautiful, but they take forever. And I'm left with dead looking sticks like this. However, since I cut it back so hard last year, I think I'll probably have just absolutely beautiful blooms this year. So I might just wait till after they bloom and then replant them in the fall. But they were just so many of the leaves down deep in the branches. So that was a lot of work to get that out. And then this group of leaves is frozen solid to the ground, so not budging there. So that's it. That's all I got finished for today. And I'll get back at it next chance I get and show you. I won't bother you to see every single thing I do. Just know that I'll be doing all the cleanup, and then I'll give you a tour of everything after it's finished and cleaned up and ready for planting. So that's it. Thank you so much for gardening with me. God bless. Have a great week.